Good day. Good day, dear friends. Good day, fellow citizens. Good day, lovers and cravers of truth. I say unto you, welcome, welcome, welcome. And before I even begin anything, let me say to Born to Raise Hog, grazie mille for your kindness, your beneficence, your incredible charity. Thank you. Free Assange is right. Hand crepitations for you. Let me start off with this, by the way. Let me explain to you something, and this is what you have to understand. It's a very simple thing, and I'm glad you brought up Assange because, you know, people were lauding Daniel Ellsberg. Daniel Ellsberg. What is Daniel Ellsberg? Daniel Ellsberg was a thief. Daniel Ellsberg was a thief. He stole information from the Rand Corporation, I believe it was a Rand Corporation, regarding that which was going on in Vietnam, and he turned it over to the New York Times and I believe the Washington Post. He was a thief. He was a thief. The New York Times was the journalist. The Washington Post was the journalist. They were protected. Specifically, WikiLeaks is the New York Times. WikiLeaks is the Washington Post. But whether it's Chelsea, I always want to say Chelsea Handler, but you know what I'm talking about. It's Chelsea, whatever that one was, and then there were some other ones that poor fellow who met his demise, that young man whose name we cannot mention. In any event, and I'm not suggesting, and by the way, Daniel Ellsberg was still the most overrated because the information that he gave, many have suggested it was a limited hangout because the information was already known. It wasn't anything that, you know. Did you read the New York, New York Pentagon Papers? No. So anyway, thank you. Free Assange, free Assange, free Assange. Yes, yes, yes. I don't care if you like him. It doesn't matter. He's a journalist. Seth Rich, or whatever his name was. What? Was it Seth Rich? Who came to him? Remember this? This poor guy who met his demise and his dispatch. Chelsea Manning. Thank you so much. That's for you. Seth Rich, remember that story? Don't bring up his name. Okay, all right. I'm just saying he was purported to have been responsible for the WikiLeaks, I guess, I don't know, because the information that was down or was given to WikiLeaks was of such a mass, such a size, that it could only have been done through a thumb drive or something. It could not have been downloaded. So it had to have been physically handed to him. Okay? Whistleblower, call him what you want. Snowden, Manning, go down the list, okay? Go down. And by the way, Chelsea Manning was a transgender really before it was cool. Think about this. Before it was cool, okay? Now let's talk about something. I don't know about you, but I hate when somebody either treats me like a child or treats me maybe like I'm stupid or thinks I'm stupid or that I buy something. I'm not somebody who's born in a world that necessarily believes in everything that is conspiratorial of note. That's not my thing. I don't do that. I don't start off. I've got people you should meet. They start off with a conspiratorial. They start off with the most contrived to say, where do you get this from? I'm not going to say Occam's razor, but sometimes there are things that just happen. And by the way, sometimes we just don't know things. But what I want you to do is never lose your ability to trust your gut feeling. Never lose your sense of, wait a minute. Mothers have that in particular. You can read kids and go, what are you doing? What? I'm not buying this. We hear this all the time. We hear a story that just doesn't make sense to us. And the story that still kills me is that they're hiding the story. They're going up about this Titan sub, the Titanic sub, whatever. I mean, they're suggesting that if somebody brings up the Federal Reserve and the whole notion of the Astors and all of this kind of jazz, and the Rothschilds or Rothschilds, that somehow you're anti-Semitic. No, it's the biggest banking group, family, whatever you want to call it, in the world. Don't ruin it by saying this has nothing to do with anti-Semitism. Now, somebody might think, they may say, what do you speak for yourself? It's because they're Jews. Okay, fine. That's your thing. But how are you supposed to talk about the biggest, most powerful banking cartel, family, group, cabal, whatever, in the history of humankind? Are we just not supposed to bring them up? Is that it? Are we supposed to say they have no power? They're just a local bank on the corner. See, this drives me crazy because you ruin the whole notion of anti-Semitism when you keep pointing at this. Same thing that when people bring up the term neocon. Have you heard that story? Oh, this is that Leo Strauss thing. These are because these people tended to be very pro-Israel. That has nothing to do with it. Don't you remember Iraq? Don't ruin this. Don't ruin this by lumping us, by trying to shoo us away, by calling us something we're not. The same people who call us racist. Look at the SPLC. Look at others. That's hate. That's racist. They're trying to shut you up and shut you down, and you know better. So don't dare tell me or anybody else. And by the way, if you want to opine, if you want to pull or maybe construct Mercury in retrograde with some numerological whatever, that's up to you. Just shut up and let people be. If that's what they want to do, that's what they will do. It's up to you. It's a free country, damn it, and any connection you make is fine with me. And you're not going to stop anti-Semitism and hate and racism and transphobia by yelling it when it doesn't even apply. I think I've said enough about that. Okay? That drives me nuts. That kills me. The other day somebody was saying, you're not going to believe this, we're talking about some horrible crime, whatever, and I said, this is savagery, these savages. He goes, that's racist. I said, that's racist. What do you mean? Where did you make the connection? The word savage? What are you saying? What are you saying? You're telling me something. Oh, there you go again. Wait a minute. Come here, Mr. Rorschach. Where did you get that connection from? I want to talk about you. What? Do you think that word connotes something? I think we should have a talk. You just let something out of the bag. You're telling me something you feel. You're telling me something. What are you making the savage connection? I'm not. What do you call when people act like savages? What do you call that? It's a word, savage. Don't you love when people do that? When they read into what you're saying? Remember the old joke where the guy walks into a bar and yells, all lawyers are a-holes. And somebody says, hey, I resent that. He goes, oh, I'm sorry. Are you a lawyer? He says, no, I'm an a-hole. You see? You see how that works? It kills me. You're a Putin apologist. Would you shut up? That doesn't work anymore. You're anti-science. Double shut up. Double shut up. You started all this stuff. Don't you see where, who was it? Fauci got a job as a professor. Are you not making enough money? Are you not making enough money? Haven't you done enough? Hotez wants to be the new Fauci. You're anti-science. Had you idiots just let people say whatever they want to say, it would be over with. But you started it by shutting everybody down, which made them even more obstinate and made them determined. Let people say what they want. The people who were saying that SARS-CoV-2 came from pangolins and wet markets, and fine, whatever. Whatever you think. As opposed to, no, shut up. Oh, was that it? Did I hit a nerve there? You just answered my question. You let this go, let everything go. Look at the Kennedy assassination. You know how many crazy theories there are about that? When I say crazy. Some people will say, it's Mac Wallace, it's LBJ. I even heard one time it's Jackie Kennedy. She did it. Yeah. And then there was a Secret Service agent. You had the AR-15, and you had this and that. Let people talk. We got to get our opinions back, our right to speak back, our free expression, our First Amendment. And by the way, don't give me this business about, well, Twitter is a private corporation. They're acting as a proxy for the government. What are you talking about? What are you talking? Stop these fictions. All right, look, this is a new day. It's a new year. Let's just stop. Let's go back to square one and call it the way it is, all right? Number one, that story, that I don't get it. That story stinks. I don't know what stinks. I don't know what happened. But this Titan sub business, like a friend of mine said, it might be a meme at this point. I don't even know. But he said, we've got GPS on sharks. We can find a shark in the ocean, for God's sake. But nobody could find or locate this tin can or aluminum can with more billionaires per square inch than any place on the planet. Did you see that toilet they had with a curtain? What is first of all, are you out of your mind? What are you going to see? What we want to see? No. Seriously, tell me. It's not like it's Everest, or you're in a plane, or we're going to go out into the ionosphere, we're going to go up to the space, we're going to see the mountains. You're going to see dark, dirty, dungeon. Maybe the end of the thing was like, what? You're going to imagine Leo DiCaprio there? In this condition? What kind of a death wish do these people have? This is stupid. I don't get it. And then they said, well, when people do talk about this, they're anti-Semitic. Don't get me started with that again. The whole story doesn't make any sense. And then they're making the CEO to be this brave rapscallion, this rambunctious, this man who yearns for excitement. Oh, give me a break. Shut up with that. Now, next one. Where do you think Prigozhin is right now? I don't want to say. Are you following this story? Have you even heard of this story? The Prigozhin story? Are you hearing this? Are you following this? Are you believing any of it? Did you hear this? I've heard everybody today. There have been so many interesting people. So many people on YouTube. Nothing on the radio. Nothing on TV. Nothing on cable. Colonel McGregor, fantastic. Scott Ritter, fantastic. Though he's a little too. Just cum grano salas. Just kind of temperate. The great Ray McGovern, a fine guy. Met Ray many, many times. Judge Napolitano, very good. Very, very good. And the story, have you followed the story? Have you followed the story? Hey, wait a minute. Mindy's a new grandma. Hey! Honey, Mindy's a new grandma. Yay! Are you a new grandma? Are you a grandma before? Were you not a grandma before? I think that's the most wonderful thing in the world. Plus, you can be everything. You can say, okay, I've had it. That's enough. Hey, it's grandma. And everybody, let me stop from Prigozhin just a moment. Everybody always has these funny names for your grandpa and your grandma. Mama, Papa, Mimi, Mama. It's mom and dad, daddy and mommy, mom and daddy, other permutations, father, mother. That's about it. Pa, pop. Ma, mammy. Okay, you got that? But then when you're a grandparent, then you get all these names that are just like, wow. Unbelievable. So congratulations to you, Mindy. Wait a minute. Cramerica Industries says, hi, Lionel. I'm new to your channel. I love it. Cheers. That's the way we say hello. Don't be offended. Thank you. This is a crepitation to you. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome aboard. One and all. Welcome to this daily, in the morning, in the afternoon. Ain't we got fun? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. How's the weather? It looks like it's going to thunderstorm before. We went and bought some comestibles, some viands and victuals, as it's pronounced. Victuals pronounced victuals. All right, you got this? All right. So anyway, so here's the story. Are you following this? I just love this story. Have you seen this great young man? I don't know how young. Everybody's younger than me, so I figure, what the heck. It was I was saying, this kid, I was talking about this guy the other day. This kid was 50 years old the other day. I was talking about some kid, but that's all right. Doesn't matter to me. His name he is so terrific. Just a minute. YouTube is everything. Ah, yes, Patrick Lancaster. Have you seen him? Is this man a great, I don't know where he's from, but he's an independent, I guess you might call it's some of the best stuff ever. He says, I am a video and photo journalist, mainly covering the Ukraine war and the Armenia-Azerbaijan war in Nagorno-Karabakh. I'm a totally independent and crowdfunded journalist. I rely on my viewers. This guy has cojones like melon. He is fantastic. And he has, with the Wagner coup leaving Russia. And he's got Prigozhin. And this son of a gun's walking around with, I don't know who his cameraman is, but he's there doing some of the best journalism there is. He's terrific. And here's a picture of Prigozhin thinking, don't stand too near that car there, Patty. I'm just going to say, don't back. So here's the story. Let's go through this again if you're not paying attention. Let's go through this again. So here's the story of a lovely lady. Prigozhin is leaving. He's leaving. Let me get this again. The Wagner Group or Wagner, I don't know how. I'm going to call it Wagner. The Wagner Group is leaving. And they're clapping. Yay! I'm thinking, hold it, cut. Explain this one to me. Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. They say this is a coup, all right? Okay, a mutiny. You got that? I don't understand how that is, but that's what they say. They say it's a mutiny, it's a coup, all right, whatever you want to call it. So Prigozhin, who, by the way, spent a couple of, I think it was like 10 years or something in prison for, I don't know, theft or robbery or something. He gets out. Right around the 90s, he jumps on that oligarch train and he becomes super rich. Starts off with a hot dog stand. Then a couple of restaurants. Next thing you know, they called him Putin's chef. Putin takes a liking to him, gives him a bunch of government contracts, like for catering and, cafeteria, schools and institutional stuff. Next thing you know, he's doing quite well. Then somehow, I don't know how, I don't know why, he becomes Mr. Mercenary. This private military company, I guess, sort of. He just called the Wagner Group, and they go to Africa, and they go here and there, and he's making a fortune, and he's getting deal upon deal, and he's always happens to be wherever Putin is. So he owns his life to Putin. He's a billionaire. He goes from being an ex-con to selling hot dogs to a billionaire. Wouldn't you be nice to Putin? You damn right. Absolutely. Not only that. Now, let me tell you something, okay? Look at this Billy G's from Queensland, Australia. Billy, that's for you, brother. Now, here's the story, okay? And you can do your Brady Bunch theme right now with that. Now, here's a guy named Putin. Everybody calls him a thug. He's a thug. Even Bobby Kennedy. Between push-ups. Did you see Bobby Kennedy doing the push-ups? Oh, please. Hey, I'm doing push-ups. I'm 7 years old. I got muscles. Thanks, Bobby. I thought you were different, Bobby. No, I'm doing push-ups. That's good. See? These are natural. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's natural. Okay. You're talking about all this natural stuff. You're natural, and you're a falconer, and you're worried about the water, and you're worried about vaccines and what we put in our body, and you want me to believe that this 7-year-old guy is okay, Bobby, sure, I believe it. No, it's natural. No, it's natural. Ironic, yeah. Ironic, a little bit. Let me just say something, and before we finish, let me talk about this Prigozhin. Men in particular, somewhere in your body, and women too, but women may not do this, there is a dormant cancer cell somewhere just sitting around. Hello, I'm Mr. Dormant Cancer. I'm just sitting around. Might be prostate or prostrate, might be something else, but I'm just hanging around here. I'm kind of dormant, not going to ever really turn into anything, but I could. But I'm not, because the environment isn't commensurate with any kind of neoplastic metastasis or whatever it is. Well, all of a sudden, here comes the synthetic hormones, and there's testosterone and human growth hormone, and all of a sudden they say, thank you, now I'm a full-fledged badass cancer. Thank you. Yes. Because you want to look like Charles Atlas or Franco Columbo or Arnold, and so this is the stupidest thing, especially from somebody who is worried about health. Now, I'm going to say this is a free country. You can do any damn thing you want. I don't really care, but I think it's a message. And don't tell me. Just don't tell me. No, I'm just natural. I'm natty. Don't do that. Don't tell me that. Just like Fredo Cuomo. Remember that behind the 100 pounds? Yeah, Fredo. Yeah, okay. Stop it. Just stop it. Okay. Back to Prigozhin. Now everybody's talking about, they say Putin's a thug. I don't know. They love Putin. And Putin is the kind of guy that stands up for Russia. That may not be something we may not like, but from the Russians' point of view, they dig him. Okay, fine. I say that's none of our business. Whatever they want to do, it's up to them. There's no more Soviet Union. Enough. Okay, fine. Well, here's what's happened. Now, they're saying things about Putin also. They're saying this is not a guy to mess with. Anybody who gets thrown out of a window in Ukraine, they blame Putin. He was a friend of Putin. Everybody's a friend. Hey, out the window. What, me? You did it. Again? Somebody to find him in the middle of some bridge with a Putin. What? You did it. Again? Am I responsible? Is there no other murderer here? No, not you. And you know all of the stories and all of the stuff, and I am not expert on that, but from radiation to chemicals to poisonings to you name it, to black magic and potions and evil spells, they say Putin can do it. This guy is as bad as you can imagine, all right? That's what everybody says. Great. So here's Prigozhin. Prigozhin says, well, I'm a billionaire. I went from selling hot dogs, and now, what am I doing? I'm doing great. Hey, I've got it. I'm going to lead a mutiny against Putin, the man who made me who I am, the man that everybody seems to be afraid of. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make him look bad. And I'm going to tell people, oh, did you notice this? Well, we all knew this 3 days before. Did you? How many do you believe that? Do you believe that the rule of 8 or the group of 8 or whatever it is, the House and Senate Intel and minority, do you think they knew this? Well, we knew it, but we didn't want to say it. Now, seriously, do you think they knew that? Because that's the story. Well, Intel says, well, we can't say. You believe that? Who believes that? That's right, Liz. We need 300 likes, damn it. What's the matter with you people? 300 likes. For the love of God. Okay, let's go back to this. Liz is doing a good job there. This makes sense to you? Does this story make sense to you? Hello? Yeah. Listen. Get the gang of 8 together. Why? I got to tell you something. What? I got some information here. You're going to love this. It's from Prigozhin. What is it? Close the door. Lock the door. Cone of silence. You ready? Okay, listen. Don't tell anybody. This is Wednesday. Was it Saturday or Friday when they did it? I don't know. Anyway, listen. Prigozhin is going to lead a mutiny. Well, it's a coup. Well, not really the coup. He's gonna raise some Cain, raise a little hell. What's he gonna do? Well, he's gonna raise. It's a mutiny. What do you mean? He's going to turn against Putin. Wait a minute. What? Well, not technically. No, it's the Department of it's their defense. Well, wait a minute. Prigozhin is going to go after Putin? Wait a minute. Has he lost his mind? No, he hasn't lost his mind. And we just got this information? Yeah. But you can't tell anybody. I don't think anybody believe it. So how is he going to do it? With his Air Force? He doesn't have an Air Force, does he? No, he doesn't. Putin's got an Air Force. He has more Air Force. He has more things than you. Helicopters, attack helicopters, fast helicopters, jet helicopters, drones. He's got stuff you've never... And Prigozhin is going up against him? Why? Now follow the story. Remember, this is secret now. Why is he doing that? Why? Well, he's doing that because he's upset with the fact that he didn't get any ammunition or something. I don't know. He's and nobody can tell you this. Or as Zaslav Zizek would say, and this is the most important part of this seemingly... All right. I just love doing that. This is the most incredible story in the world. Are you following this? Are you following this? So you know what they probably did was, they probably said, hey, listen, gang of 8, come here. I'm going to put it out that we knew about it. Knew about what? About the mutiny. Don't tell them we knew about it. No, we're going to tell them we knew about it. So then maybe they'll think we had a hand in it. A hand in what? In the mutiny. It's not a mutiny. Don't include us. We make us look stupid. Nothing happened. No, don't do it. No, we're going to say this. That we knew about it. Oh, no. Because here's the mutiny. So Lancaster, did you see today? He's there, and the coup members are putting their tanks in the trucks, and they're getting out of Dodge. And they're saying, thank you, Wagner, thank you. And this accent, I don't know what it is. Thank you, we love you, yes, wonderful, wonderful. And there's Lancaster. What do you think? I love our president, Putin, yes, Putin forever. We love our... wait a minute, hold it, excuse me. This was a coup. This was a mutiny. Yes, and they're leaving. Thank you. Wait a minute. When was the last time you ever heard of a mutiny leaving? This doesn't make any sense. I don't understand it. What do you mean he's leaving? Thank you. No. That's not a mutiny. And Putin is probably on the floor howling. They're retreating. I don't know what they're doing. And then the best one is, hey, listen, Evgeny, yeah, listen, no problem, no charges. You go. Where you going? Belarus. Gee, I don't have any connections there. So you go ahead. You'll be fine. Okay, guys? Okay, great. Thanks a million. Hey, thanks for your help. Okay, sure. Because they were going to send, what, 3,000? 3 or 4,000? They actually said, they were 200 miles from Moscow. It's like 3,000. They've got a garrison. There's one group of like 40,000 armed machine gun. I mean, whatever the particular military name for this is. Are you seeing this story? So he says, goodbye. So Putin says, don't worry, or somebody said for Putin, don't worry, they said, listen to this. Did you hear what they said? CNN or somebody said, Putin has left. He's on his jet and he left. For what? Because of these. Well, they left too. They're both like, Meanwhile, Russia's like, what happened? Where's Putin? He left. He left for what? Couldn't take the pressure. What pressure? What the hell are you talking about? What's going on here? Hey, Evgeny, where are you going? You're leaving too? And meanwhile, Victoria Nuland's on the phone. Wait a minute. He's leaving? Leaving what? He's leaving Russia? Because of what? He's not leaving Russia because of the fighting Finns ready to move in and make, Ukraine the part of NATO. No. They said this with a straight face. We haven't heard from Putin. Why? Because he's probably hiding. He's hiding? Yes. Do you understand this? Do you understand this story? Are you following this story? Are you grasping this story? It is the funniest thing I've ever heard. None of it makes any sense. And we're listening today in the car, in the Yugo, had the transistor on. It's a stretch, by the way. And we're sitting here, and we are absolutely amazed at what is happening. We are beside ourselves, laughing hysterically. I can't say it any more than I have. I can't make it any more obvious than I have. I can't tell you any more than I have. It is the funniest story I have ever heard in my life. And I don't understand it. Now, here is the story. And this is the bad story, and this is the sad story. And let me see if I can say this in a nice way. How long do you give Prigozhin? Because today, after all of this, Putin says, supposedly, oh, he's going to be prosecuted. Oh, no. You don't do this. Oh, no. They say, excuse me. Didn't you say? I didn't say anything. You sure? I know I'm sure. I'm Putin. Can you imagine if Putin, whatever this mutineer is, whatever this guy is, I guess, I don't know. Do me, just start off with this. Whenever you tell somebody, now let me get this straight. So Putin, let me get this straight. This is the funniest story I have ever heard. I don't get any of it. I don't understand it. I've never heard mutineers and we're going to take them. Yes. Okay. Next story. Very, very funny. Very, very funny story. I think in a very, very strange way. Today, the story is Jeffrey Katzenberg. From Spielberg, Katzenberg, and what's the other guy's name with the hair? Mark? No, G. Name starts with a G. What is it? Geffen. Remember Geffen? I think it's Katzenberg and Spielberg. I think SGF or whatever it is. Okay. With a straight face. Okay? He says that Biden has to somehow, come across, or how do I say this? That Biden has to push the fact that he's older, he's 80, and that there are people who are 80 years old who are great, like Harrison Ford, right? Look at this. Famous stars 80 or older. Stars in their 80s. Julie Andrews, Jane Fonda, Alan Alda. I don't know who that person is. Anthony Hopkins. It goes on. Joan Collins. Joan Collins is, she's 89. Chuck Norris. Faye Dunaway, she's kind of gone. Ian McKellen, you see him. Barbara Streisand. Ursula Andress, don't see her. Al Pacino, Al's walking around impregnating, supposedly. Wayne Newton, poor guy. Maggie Smith, the actress. Marlo Thomas. Martha Stewart. Sophia Loren. Carol Burnett. Goes on and on. Patrick Stewart, he looks great. He's 80. George Takei, that pain in the ass. Morgan Freeman. Jack Nicholson. Jack's a little... Did Raquel Welch die? Yeah, she was there. She was towards the end. Anyway, you know who's over 80, who's fantastic, is Alan Dershowitz. Alan Dershowitz is fantastic. Alan Dershowitz is wonderful. Alan Dershowitz is great. Wonderful. 85 years old. Pretty good, huh? I think it's pretty damn good. Now, let me ask you a very simple question. And there are people who are 80 years old, and like I told you, we have a friend of ours. And when I tell you this, a lot of people say, oh, he's as sharp as a tack. We have a friend who's 102. Come on, I need 300 likes. I need 300 likes. Don't let me turn Solak on you. You know how she gets. Please, for the love of God. What do you think is the key part missing here when you say, well, Joe is Harrison Ford is 80 and Mick Jagger's 80 or almost 80 and whatever it is. What do you think the difference is? What do you think the issue is? What's the difference between, let's say, Harrison Ford and Joe Biden? Take all the time you want. Who's the first one to get it? Who's the first person to get it? Who's the first person to get the answer? What's the difference between Joe Biden and Harrison Ford? They're both in their 80s. Who's the first person? Let's see how fast you can act. Who? It's very simple. It's a very, very simple difference. Anybody? I'm waiting. I'll wait a little time. Drinking my coffee, by the way. Lionel merch available. Go ahead. I'm waiting. Takes a while for this thing to kick in. You know what it is. There's a little bit of a delay, which is fine. I think everybody stopped. You're still laughing from the idea of Prigozhin having a coup where he leaves and they're clapping. Talent? Thank you, Paul. No. The difference between Joe Biden, one is a crook, the other is not. No. Come on now, folks. What's the difference? Now think about this. Between Joe Biden, looks and brains. Come on now. You're scaring me. They're both 80. Talks in complete sentences. Now we're getting closer, Ford. We're getting closer. Biden, a better actor. Very funny. Harrison Ford is a human and Joe Biden is a robot. Thank you, Gary. John is correct. Thank you. George Soros. Always throw in George Soros. Whenever you don't know what the answer is, George Soros. Thank you very much. The winner is. If a right triangle is A and B, mental health. That's it. Thank you. Tino Baldessari. Thank you, Tino. That's exactly right. The difference is that Joe Biden is senile. That's the difference. Not the age. He's senile. You ever watch Sky Australia? That's Sky TV. Oh, it's fantastic. Oh, it's the most wonderful thing in the world. It is truly wonderful. And they showed a collection of Joe Biden walking around, gone. I mean, he was gone. Absolutely gone. I don't know how to say this other than to say he was gone. And he's shaking hands with nobody. He was making some kind of comments about, I don't know what the hell he was talking about. It was the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. It was the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. It just never stopped. And, this is something that is not, we don't want to laugh at it necessarily. The only reason we're bringing it up and laughing at it is because he's president. And you see, we don't really care. We don't really care about what you do personally, because there are some wonderful people that we all have known in our families. You know this? You know what I'm talking about. There's family members who've had problems. And I'll tell you, Alzheimer's, I don't know if he has Alzheimer's per se. He just maybe let me tell you something. It's one of those things. Have you ever noticed this? When you get older, you don't know what's going to happen. First of all, you don't know what you're going to look like. That's the funniest thing about it. You don't know what you're going to look like. When you just don't know anything. Sometimes it's the weirdest thing. I don't know what it is. You could say like, well, this one looks like this, and this one's like, oh my God, some people. Have you ever gone to a high school reunion? Oh my God. You wonder, who the hell are these old people? Who are these people? They're saying the same thing about you. So you never know what you're going to look like. You never know what's going to happen. And you don't also know how sometimes there are people who are like, you realize, these people are so boring. I've come to that conclusion. I can't stand people. I just can't take it. Nobody knows anything. So anyway, Joe Biden, I'm sorry to say, by virtue of whatever it is, he has not, age is not helping him. It's not good. You know who they said was pretty bad? Oh, he's not too bad. And that is Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton looked really bad, really enfeebled. You never see Dick Cheney anymore. You never see Dick Cheney. So it's a very sad thing. You just don't know what's going to happen. 80 years old for some of us. And I still say, look at our dear friend Alan Dershowitz. Okay, next story. I don't know if this is interest to you, but I know it's kind of, it's catty, it's cheap, it's like People magazine, it's tawdry, it's whatever it is. I don't know why. I like it. I admit it. I'm petty. Not Tom Petty. I'm Richard Petty. There's a damn good article, written by this guy, Stelter, Brian Stelter, little tater, looks like a tater tot, doesn't he? Used to be with CNN, and Tucker Carlson was just, brutal to him. Made fun of his voice, and made fun of this. There's one thing about Tucker, makes too much fun of people's looks when he's arguing the case about whatever it is. Stelter wrote this great piece, I think Drudge had it, about how they're doing just fine. Fox is back to number one. Jesse Waters just took his position. Everybody's moving up. I think Hannity's there. Laura's there. Gut Bucket's at 11 or 10, whatever, I don't know, 10. And they're doing great. They're doing great like nothing happened. And nothing's also happening with Tucker and his big lawyer, because I love the phrase, it's a stare down. They're just like looking at each other like, why you, I ought to knock you. That's a cease and desist. No, you cease and desist. Why you bastard, you. You're not going to tell me what to do. I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue you. Oh, why you, aha. And nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. Which is what I was telling you before. And this is probably one of those things that, and I don't know what the reason is, and people will pretend that they know the reason. But when Tucker was there, man, he was it. He was it. And then, gone. Absolutely gone. Do you understand this? Do you understand this? Do you understand how your significance means nothing. You are nothing. You are just as important as your last whatever. And graveyards are filled with indispensable men. Do you understand that? That's all. And I find it fascinating. He's just, nobody cares. And whatever he does, at first, I was like, did you see Tucker? That was the most incredible thing ever. Okay. God, that was brilliant. I'm going to send it to you. No, don't send it to me. No, I'm going to send it to you. You know what they say now? Hey, did you see Tucker? Yeah, it was good. It's good. That's it. Okay, fine. Tucker was on something I saw. You know, I'm on this YouTube thing. I just love YouTube. I swear to God. Have you seen Pasta Grammar with Ava, the woman who yells, and her husband? I love this. I just love these. I feel like I know these people. This woman, I think, is milking the accent. He's an American. She's from somewhere in Calabria. And can speak virtually no accent, and her accent's getting worse. And I think she's milking it. I don't know this type of change to me. This one, everything is over the top. Hey, Ava, what do you think of napkins? Napkins are to me. I'm doing a Slavic. Anyway, I love this stuff. So I'm just watching this. I'm doing my thing. And all of a sudden there'll be some rotation. And lo and behold, what do I see but Ben Shapiro and Tucker Carlson? Oh my God. Ben, can you talk faster? You know, Ben, if you talk faster, people will think what you're saying is smarter. Because what you're saying, if you read a transcript of it, it's really not that great. But if you say it fast, I go, oh, wow, he's smart. No, he's not. He's speaking fast. Oh, just like people who believe British accents make it. Isn't he brilliant? Not really. So they asked Tucker Carlson, if you would you do something basically to stop? Let me ask you a question. Would you prevent autonomous, let's assume they're safe, autonomous trucks, autonomous transport, thereby destroying the human trucking industry? Okay, that's the question. You have this thing that says, guess what? We have trucks right now. We can have trucks going 24 hours a day. We can have them in the middle of the night when nobody's traffic. We can have them crossed. They're safe. Fuel efficient. Nobody ever falls asleep at the wheel. No nothing. But we're going to kill the truck driver industry. But things will get there faster. Things will be more efficient. There'll be new jobs to make these things and repair these things. But the old-fashioned truck driver will be eliminated. And they asked Tucker, would you do this? He goes, no, because that is the only place for human beings, still the best place to get a job. Or to be a truck driver. Let me ask you, would you do this? Would you do this? Would you do anything to interrupt? Would you? You're actually suggesting that you would stop autonomous trucks? Seriously? You would stop progress because people would lose their job. Now, it's a wonderful humanitarian thing. Buggy whips, stagecoach operators, spittoon repairmen, whatever it is. That is the most preposterous thing I've ever heard in my life. Preposterous. If things can get there faster, more efficient, cheaper, and it's better for, and I'm sorry to say this, and it's better for shareholders, people, society, you get stuff faster, whatever it is. You mean to tell me you would say no? Because people would lose their jobs. Now, I understand this. Do you know where we would be Every time something is added on, we lose a job. Anybody here like Costco? Anybody like big stores? Anybody like that? We have, for some reason, I don't know why, we have missed the Costco thing. I don't know. But there are people I know who swear by it. Costco and big box stores and, Home Depot and big and all that. Do you know how many little places that put out of business? Do you have any idea? Do you have any idea how many mom and pop little hardware stores and little places that put out? Do you have any clue seriously. Every time there's any kind of advancement, somebody somewhere is going to lose a job. Wait till AI takes it. By the way, please do me a favor. Please do not confuse AI with robots. That's all I'm saying. I had to share that with you. That's the most preposterous thing in the world. I have a friend of mine, dear friend of mine, who's a radiologist. And he told me, he says, right now, he says, there's going to be people, not machine learning, but also AI, and AGI, in essence, that will be able to read mammograms so fast, make your head spin, and have a 100% accuracy rate. 100%. Why? Because they'll be able to compare your particular mammogram with every mammogram that's ever been taken in the history of humankind. A human can't do that. You can't compete with that. You can compete with that. You don't want that? Think about all the radiologists who will be out of business. Radiologists gone. Radiologist techs, the equipment, the people the radiologist suites, and the technicians and the nurses and the ones who clean up and the one who make the lights for the stuff that you look at in the magnifying glasses. Are you kidding me? I can't believe what I'm hearing. So let me just tell you something, my friend. The key to life is simply knowing this. Know when you're being mutinied and know when some guy is full of it. And also realize, find a job that nobody is going to be able to replace. Think of a job right now that machines just kind of sort of maybe, I don't know, maybe they will. I don't know. I'm thinking things like bartender. And the good news is, I think I mentioned this, Mrs. L said, for the first time in a long time, speed dating has come back as younger people want to actually engage as human beings. And also, Elton John appeared at Glastonbury or wherever it was. They had 200,000 people there, broke the record for attendance because people actually wanted to be a part of this. Do you understand this? Do you get it? Do you see there's a connection that's coming back, maybe. And you can have AI performers. I want to see, maybe Buddy Guy or whoever it is, play live. That's Eric Clapton, or that's whoever it is. That's who I want to see. I don't want to hear. Now, unless somebody says, we don't care about seeing them anymore, okay, fine, that could very well be. I don't know. But there are certain things that you cannot do. I think the teaching profession is going to go the way. I think a lot of times we do not. I don't know how that's going to work, but you might be able to do this. Recently, like I said, we were out to eat, and we have a friend of ours who has a young 11-year-old who wouldn't get off the computer the whole time, would not look up, just staring at this thing. We could have been on fire. We could have been like that monk in Vietnam, self-immolation. It would not. Well, that's where you teach, not in human interaction, but that. So whatever. Just think about what you're saying, okay? Think about it. All right, that's all I'm going to say. So, my dear friends, that's the story. When do you think we're going to find out about Prigozhin? I say very soon. I don't think it looks good for him. If my antennae indicate anything, I don't think so. In any event, thank you for that. Now, let me also tell you something that you did, which was very, very important to me, and I appreciate it immensely. You, and I'm going to do this again, you have got to do me a favor. Mrs. L puts out the best stuff. Did you know that in New York City, they are advocating and will have an office. Let me say this again. An office for sex trafficking liaison. Is that what it's called? Sex Workers Opportunity Office. A liaison, so to speak, to help sex workers, prostitutes, from the mayor's office. Isn't that great? And they also, what about children again? What's the story?
They routinely just refer to them as sex workers.
They refer to children as sex workers. Now you're thinking to yourself, no. This can't be. Oh, yes, it is. And Mrs. L has been talking about this forever. So what I want you to do is this. This is her. Very simple. This goes directly to her channel. And this is directly to her subscription. I want you to subscribe. Subscribe to her immediately, okay? It's very important that you do that. It's critical because what she is doing, nobody's doing. Nobody's doing. And she has been indefatigable and relentless for years, Kim Lansing, for years. Before it became cool, before all these people started talking about, hey, pedophiles and all this stuff. Which, again, misses the point completely. So one more time, that is her. I ask you, if you love me, if you love what we do, please subscribe to her channel, and you'll be so glad. You'll learn so much. All right, dear friends, thank you so very much. Thank you, our friends with the hogs, for your incredibly generous contribution. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow, my friends. Same bad time, same bad channel, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Until then, remember, as we always say, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.